Native American tribes are the indigenous peoples of North America, whose cultures and histories span thousands of years. From the lush forests of the Northeast to the deserts of the Southwest, from the plains of the Midwest to the coastal cliffs of the Pacific Northwest, Native Americans have left a lasting impact on the land they call home. Each tribe is as unique as the terrain they inhabit. Today, we're diving into the rich history and cultures of Native American tribes and exploring the regions where they've lived, thrived, and contributed to the fabric of American life. Let's take an in-depth look at the diverse and resilient nations across this land. The Northeastern tribes. The Northeast was home to a variety of Native American tribes, most notably those belonging to the Algonquian and Iroquois language families. These tribes lived along the rivers and in the dense forests of present-day New York, Pennsylvania, and the New England states. The Iroquois Confederacy, or Haudenosaunee, was one of the most influential and advanced political systems in North America. This confederation of 6 tribes, the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca, and Tuscarora, spanned much of New York State, and even parts of Ontario, Canada. The Iroquois were known for their sophisticated governance, with a system of representative democracy that inspired elements of the U.S. Constitution. Alongside the Iroquois, the Algonquian-speaking tribes lived in the forests and along the coastlines. Tribes like the Wampanoag, Pequot, Narragansett, and the Penobscot lived across New England, including Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Maine. The Wampanoag tribe famously interacted with the Pilgrims in 1621, leading to the first Thanksgiving celebration. The Algonquian peoples were known for their strong connections to the land and were often skilled hunters, fishermen, and farmers. Many of their tribes lived in semi-permanent villages built along rivers, using these waterways for transportation, trade, and sustenance. The Great Plains of the United States, stretching across much of the central U.S., became home to some of the most well-known and celebrated Native American tribes, particularly those of the Lakota, Cheyenne, Arapaho, and other Sioux-speaking peoples. The Lakota Sioux are perhaps the most iconic tribe of the Great Plains. Living in areas that spanned the Dakotas, Nebraska, Montana, and parts of Wyoming, the Lakota were known for their nomadic lifestyle, following the herds of bison that sustained them. Their culture was heavily centered on these magnificent creatures, which provided food, clothing, tools, and shelter. The Cheyenne and Arapaho, 2 other significant tribes, primarily lived in what is now Colorado and Kansas. The Cheyenne were known for their distinctive culture, which included warrior societies, and the Arapaho were closely allied with the Cheyenne in battle and politics. The Sioux, led by Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse, are perhaps most famous for their victory at the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876, where they defeated General George Custer's 7th Cavalry. This victory was a symbol of Native resistance to U.S. expansion and one of the last major battles fought between Native American tribes and the U.S. Army. The Southwest is home to a diverse range of Native American tribes, each with a distinct culture adapted to the harsh desert environment. Tribes such as the Pueblo, Navajo, Apache, and Hopi have lived in this region for centuries. The Pueblo tribes, including the Zuni and Hopi, lived in the areas of New Mexico and Arizona. Known for their advanced agricultural practices, the Pueblo built intricate adobe dwellings in cliffs and along mesas. They were skilled farmers who cultivated corn, beans, and squash, and their artistic craftsmanship, particularly in pottery and weaving, continues to be highly regarded. Further to the east, the Navajo, or Diné, live in the Four Corners region, where Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado meet. The Navajo are the largest tribe in the U.S. and are known for their remarkable artistry in silver jewelry, weaving, and rug making. They have a deep spiritual connection to their land, which they call Diné Bikaya. The Apache tribes, including the Chiricahua and Mescalero, were warriors who inhabited the rugged mountains and deserts of New Mexico and Arizona. The Apache fought fiercely against both Spanish and U.S. encroachment, and leaders like Geronimo became legendary figures in Native American resistance. Now let's turn our attention to the southeastern U.S., home to the famous 5 civilized tribes, the Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Seminole. These tribes, known for their complex societies, lived in present-day Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida. The Cherokee were the largest of these tribes and lived in the Appalachian region, particularly in Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. They were known for their advanced farming techniques, and they developed a written language under the leadership of Sequoyah in the early 19th century. However, the Cherokee and the other southeastern tribes faced immense challenges due to European settlers' desire for land. In the 1830s, the U.S. government forcibly relocated them to Oklahoma, in what is known as the Trail of Tears, where thousands of Cherokee and other southeastern tribes perished due to disease and harsh conditions. The Creek, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Seminole also suffered the horrors of forced relocation, though the Seminole fought a series of wars in Florida to resist their removal. Moving to the Pacific Northwest, we find one of the most culturally rich and resource-rich regions in North America. The tribes here, including the Haida, Tlingit, Coast Salish, and Kwakiutl, have a profound connection to the sea and forests. The Tlingit and Haida lived in what is now Alaska and British Columbia, along the northern coasts. Known for their complex social structures and intricate art, the Tlingit created elaborate totem poles that told stories of their clans and histories. The Coast Salish tribes, located in Washington and British Columbia, were known for their advanced fishing techniques, particularly salmon fishing, and their beautifully woven baskets. These tribes, along with others in the region, formed a network of trade and cultural exchange along the coast. In the Great Basin region, which includes parts of Nevada, Utah, and Idaho, tribes like the Shoshone, Ute, and Paiute adapted to the harsh desert environment. They developed unique survival techniques, including the use of plant resources, and were skilled in hunting and gathering. To the west, in California, over 100 distinct tribes lived in the state's valleys, mountains, and coastal regions. Tribes like the Chumash, Pomo, and Miwok were known for their intricate basket weaving and their ability to thrive in diverse environments. From the Iroquois of the northeast to the Lakota of the Great Plains, from the Navajo of the southwest to the Haida of the Pacific Northwest, Native American tribes are an integral part of the history and culture of the United States. Each tribe has its own unique story, its own traditions, and its own connection to the land. As we reflect on their resilience, contributions, and challenges, it's crucial that we continue to honor the legacy of these nations. Their histories are deeply intertwined with the fabric of this land, and their cultures are as vibrant and vital as ever. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the rich and diverse cultures of Native American tribes. If you found this video insightful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. Until next time, take care and keep learning.